All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and maybe misunderstood parts of your mind, your intuition. We're going to go way beyond the mystery and actually decode the science behind what's basically a supercomputer running in your brain. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see that gut feeling in a whole new light.
I mean, of course, you have, right? It's that sudden flash of insight, that little voice, that feeling deep in your stomach that just screams, do this, or don't do that. It feels almost magical. But what if I told you it's not magic at all? What if it's one of the most advanced data processing systems in the known universe? For the longest time, we kind of wrote off intuition as this mystical, flaky thing, an unreliable hunch. But now, cognitive science is showing us what's really going on. The old view saw it as magic. The new view, it sees it for what it is, incredibly fast subconscious data processing. So how on earth does it work? Okay, first things first, let's really get into that famous gut feeling. Because it turns out the secret to it all doesn't actually start in your gut. It starts deep, deep inside your brain. So think about your brain like this. Your conscious mind, the part you're using to listen to me right now, is kind of like the tip of an iceberg. It's what you see. It handles one thing at a time. But underneath the surface, oh, that's where the action is. You have this massive silent partner, a background operating system that's crunching millions of pieces of information all at once, totally outside your awareness. Scientists have a name for it. They call it implicit cognition.
And the engine that drives this whole thing is subconscious pattern recognition. See, your brain is constantly, and I mean constantly, comparing what's happening right now to this huge library of every single thing you've ever experienced. A perfect example? Cybersecurity analysts. They can spot a new threat, and they might not even recognize the specific code yet, but they see the shape of the attack. It just feels familiar. That's your intuition at work, spotting a pattern and sending up a red flag. And this explains those classic aha moments. When the perfect solution just pops into your head. It almost never happens when you're staring at the problem, right? It's when you're in the shower or out for a drive. That's because your conscious mind is distracted, and that finally gives your powerful non-conscious brain the space it needs to connect the dots and serve up the answer. So, if all this heavy lifting is happening in the brain, why do we call it a gut feeling? Why do we feel it in our bodies? Well, that brings us to your body's incredible built-in warning system. Turns out, your brain's way of getting your attention is by talking to your body. That knot in your stomach, your heart suddenly racing, those aren't random. They're signals. It's a concept called the somatic marker hypothesis, which basically says your body learns to associate certain patterns with danger or opportunity, and it gives you a physical heads-up, an early alert, way before your conscious mind has caught up. The hardware running this whole alert system is your limbic system. This is the ancient emotional part of your brain, and it is fast, way faster than logic. That's why you can walk into a room and just feel a jolt of fear or unease before you have any rational reason for it. Your limbic system has already spotted something wrong. I love this way of thinking about it. That feeling is like a dashboard warning light in your car. So imagine a CEO is looking at a merger. The spreadsheet looks perfect, all the numbers line up, but they just have this sinking feeling. That feeling isn't coming from nowhere. It's that warning light signaling that their intuition has picked up on subtle cues, maybe a weird vibe in a meeting or a cultural mismatch, things that the spreadsheet could never ever show you. And this system isn't just for business deals or weird feelings. When the pressure is on and we're talking life or death situations, a well-trained intuition becomes one of the most critical tools you can have. In these high-stakes moments, experts don't sit around making pros and cons lists. Research shows they use something called the recognition-primed decision model. It's lightning fast. First, they see the pattern. Their deep experience lets them instantly recognize what's happening. Then, they run one simulation. They just mentally play out a single, good enough course of action. And finally, if that mental simulation checks out, they act immediately. Think firefighters, ER doctors, military leaders. This is how they operate. And you see this skill everywhere in critical jobs. Diplomats use thin slicing to get an instant read on someone's true intentions in just a few seconds. Intelligence analysts follow a hunch when the data is incomplete, but a pattern just feels important. It's intuition, sharpened into a professional-grade tool. So the big question is, can you get better at this? Is this something you can actually train?
The answer is a resounding yes. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important point, how to turn your intuition from simple guesswork into real, actual wisdom. Okay, if you remember one thing, make it this. Without experience, your intuition is really just guessing. Experience is everything. It's the training data for your internal algorithm. Every success, every mistake, every single situation you live through, it's all feeding and refining that pattern recognition machine in your head. And the difference this training makes is, well, it's staggering. A novice's gut feeling might be right, say, 20% of the time. It's a shot in the dark. But as they build that deep library of experiences, the accuracy of their intuition just skyrockets. An expert's gut feeling isn't a guess. It's a highly reliable calculation based on thousands of hours of data. The reason for this huge jump is something called tacit knowledge. Let me break it down. Explicit knowledge is the know that. It's stuff you can write in a textbook, like the steps for a surgical procedure. But tacit knowledge, that's the know how. It's the feel, the instinct, the deep, earned wisdom of a master surgeon that you could never capture in a manual. That is the heart of intuition, and it's something that AI still really struggles to replicate. And when you take this all the way, the highest form of intuition isn't just about being right. It's about wisdom. Wisdom is what you get when you blend all that knowledge and experience with a sense of ethical judgment. It's what allows a truly great leader to look at a data-driven solution that seems perfect on paper and say, no, the human cost is too high. It's our check against cold, hard logic. So I'll leave you with this final question to chew on. In a world where AI is getting better and better at mastering all the explicit data, all the facts and figures, is our deep, human, experience-based intuition, our wisdom, is that the last true advantage we have? Something to think about.